you guys are still here with me, that's great. I'll give it a couple minutes here before I go back to the spoilers to get us back in. Sorry about that. OBS is just doing some wacky stuff to me today. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. But if you guys are back, say hi again. I'm sorry I lost you. Don't want OBS to ruin the evening, but maybe it will. Hopefully I'm live. Let's go. All right. I think I'm here. I think we're good. Trying real hard, I promise. If you made it back in chat, please let me know so I know that I'm actually live. I guess I'll just keep on going. So, like I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted by OBS. Ryan and Greg put up a Forgeborn Finishing School video about their most recent spoiler. Oh, hey Ben, thanks. Spirit Steel Infiltrator. Like I was saying, it is a spirit like all the good cards in the set. It's a reasonably statted guy, mobility 1, aggressive, and when it deals combat damage to any player, you can give an enemy creature -2 attack, which is kind of a reasonable ability. The level 2 version is an 8/4 and gives -4. It also gets a mobility bump, and the level 3 version is a 10/5. So it's a little small. If you actually get the shrink ability off, it's probably worth it. It feels a little fragile. I mean, this card's very front loaded. It's aggressive and mobile, so it's pretty likely to get a hit in. As always, like this card is best as the 4th card played in a turn, but it has to compete with like essentially every card in your hand that wants to be the last card played. But if you dump this into an open lane with your 4th card, you'll get one hit in, shrink one of their guys, and then you can kind of do a little dancy prancy thing with the mobility on your next turn and hope that it gets through. It's a pretty sweet one. We also had Nathis with another spoiler this week. Covetous Bloodlord is a vampire mage. This is not a spirit. It kind of looks like a spirit, but it's not. 3/2 stealth. Give another one of your creatures, this is an activate ability, give another one of your creatures -3 attack to give this +3 attack. So we've had a few instances of this in this set and I think they're like specifically they are in purple, though one of them was green, I guess, where you kind of give up stats on one of your guys to give stats to another one of your guys. And I think that's a very cool theme that we're adding to the game. I'm sure it existed a little bit in other cases previous to this, but it seems like a lot of the spoilers we've seen have had kind of a like movement of stats kind of effect. This guy obviously because he has stealth, having the attack power up is a little dangerous for your opponent. At level 2, he's a 6/4, and it still shrinks 3 on one of your other guys, but it gives plus 6. And then at level 3, he's a 9/5, still shrinks plus 3, but gives total power. I'm not like in love with this guy, but he's kind of interesting. I mean, obviously, somebody's going to be like, well, you have a giant guy and you put him in an open lane and they're blocking the giant guy, and then this guy becomes giant guy. Well, yeah, I mean, he's just kind of small. He's like the card we just talked about. Like the stats are small, and I don't know that you're gonna get enough value out of him. I mean, definitely at level 1, like you're essentially getting 5 total stats because the -3/+3 cancels out. So it's not, I don't know, it doesn't feel very good at level 1. But maybe it's good later. Maybe there's some kind of combo thing you can do. I guess if you have like a 0 guy, you get more value out of it because you can't shrink below 0. Then we had another article on solforgefusion.com. And this card I think is pretty sweet. Calling the Shrine is a spell. You play the Exalt Slumbering Shrine. You give +4 attack. Level 2 is +6 attack. Play a level 1 spell for free. Level 3 is get +8 attack. Play a level 1 or 2 spell for free. So just this half of it is like pretty okay in Spells Matter, just giving you a card for free. But it makes it like an awkwardly kind of medium-sized guy at the end of it. Every time you play a spell, you put an energy counter on the Slumbering Shrine. And then when you play the level 3 Shrine Calling, you flip the thing. And then when it's transformed, it gets +1 attack for each slumber counter, or for each energy counter that was on the slumbering half. So if you play 5 spells over the course of the game after having played the level 1 Calling the Shrine, you get a 10/13 with Breakthrough on the turn that you like, and that's a pretty big turn if that's what happens, because you get a +8 attack buff, you play a free spell, and you get a 10/13, so you're like 2.5, 3 spells worth of cards in one action phase, and that seems pretty good. But this card, I assume, is just wildly variant upon how good your deck is and how many Spells Matters cards you can pile in there. Because if you flip this thing into like a 4/13, you just don't care. Like a 6/13, like it's okay. I guess at 6/13 it's probably pretty good. So yeah, this card might be universally good. Because you're getting 8 stats out of it. So at level 3 creature is like, yeah, you'd only have to get like 4 counters on it just for this to be a basic level 3 creature that lets you play a spell for free. So yeah, this card's probably really good now that I talked myself through it. If you miss on it, it kind of sucks, because you want to hit, like, if you're not getting the body out of it, this, like, just the level 1 and level 2 spell are pretty underwhelming. But it is a sweet one, though, as many of the soulbinds are. We also had this card, which obviously Justice Blinded previewed. Check out the Justice Blinded video on YouTube to hear more about it from him. But I watched this card get played on Saturday, or on Sunday, in 2 separate matches, and it actually went off. So that was kind of interesting. And I talked a lot about it while I was on coverage with Lucas. We were discussing like the value of this creature. So it's kind of a vanilla creature. We'll talk about the ability in a second. It's a 4/6, it's a 6/9, and it's a 10/12. All of which are fine. Like not insane, not bad, just reasonable, pretty good. Then if you do stick it, so 25% of the time you're going to draw it in the third cycle, or in the third turn of the cycle, where you would have a chance to play it and keep it in play so that it has this at the end of the deck cycle text. That's, we've had the abyssal creatures up to this point that kind of had the same thing where you get like a benefit at the end of the deck cycle. So if you get it at the end of the deck cycle, choose a card in your discard pile. When you would shuffle that card in your deck, put it on top of your deck instead. I don't like this templating, but I guess it's fine. Essentially what happens is before you draw your first 5 for the next cycle, you get to pick one out of your discard pile that's going to be in that first 5. And it actually had a pretty big impact on the 2 games I saw it happen in. Again, you can go back and watch those on the Stoneblade Twitch channel VOD, or we're going to upload some of the VODs from that to our YouTube channel here in the near future. But it actually was pretty impactful, like just to give yourself a great play to start off the cycle. And in general, this is just like a very interesting card. It's not a build, like I said a couple times on Sunday, like again, its power level is very reliant upon the power level of the other cards in your deck. And I kind of walk that back a little bit because a large percentage of the time, it's just a vanilla creature. Like 25% of the time, you're not going to draw it in the third turn of the cycle. So you're very unlikely to trigger this. Even if you draw it in the third turn of the cycle, you're not necessarily guaranteed to trigger it. And sometimes you'll draw it in the second turn of the cycle and you'll keep it around and you will trigger it. But for the most part, I am just guessing that 25% is like the opportunity available. So this is like a fine 5th or 6th card in your pile, I think, where the stats are okay. It is a mage, which is a meaningful creature type, and then some percentage of the time draws you a good card. So pretty neat. Listen to Justice Blinded. Is this the best Alolan card ever printed? No, it's not. It is cool though. Then we had kind of a little debacle where a bunch of the content creators received Forgeborns as spoilers for this week, and then they were Forgeborns that were in the Sunday tournament, so they kind of got spoiled on Sunday instead of when the content creators would have done it. So I actually have a Forgeborn to show off here for us in a minute, but Eli got to put up this Rosetta, which is honestly pretty cool. So Rosetta's new ability, well, a couple new abilities. Augment, give one of your creatures +2/+2. You may repeat one of its deploy abilities. So this is very cool. It's like kind of a fine buff, not a great one. It may scale as if it was in cycle 3 or 4, it might be a bigger buff. Also, it has a comma in it, and I don't know why, but I've seen a couple little typos on some cards on Sunday too. Maybe it will get fixed before it is in print, but so give one of your creatures +2/+2 is fine. You may repeat one of its deploy abilities is like somewhere between bad and insane. Um, Obviously, there's lots of powerful deploy abilities, and doubling up on them can be really good. The cycle 3 ability is Boost, and you get choose one, play 2 gizmos, or play a level 1 or level 2 creature in a lane with one of your exalts for free. So at cycle 3, again, I assume these are scaled, so maybe it's play 1 gizmo or play a level 1 in an exalt at cycle 2, and then at cycle 3 it's like play a mega gizmo or play any creature in a lane with exalt for free, something like that. But both of these abilities are very reasonable, and I assume is just very good. This kind of like invalidates the old Rosetta ability that was just make 2 gizmos. So this is obviously an upgrade to that because you have an option to do something else when you want to, but I don't believe that that ability will be in the set anyway, so it doesn't matter. And then finally, give a creature plus 8 attack. This turn it gets mobility 3. This one's kind of boring. We have this very similar ability on Korok. And honestly, there's just a pretty high bar for abilities on Rosetta because so many of her abilities up to this point are really good. This one's just kind of very meh. It's fine. It's not bad. I assume it scales like mobility 1, mobility 2, and it's like, plus 3 attack, plus 5 attack or something at the other cycles. But overall, Augment and Boost I think are both really sweet. And Eli obviously can talk more about it on his video there. And then I have a spoiler from our that was given to us. Oh, that's really big. That's too big. Hang on. Trying to get this size right for you guys. There we go. That's close enough. So I have the new Circe abilities previewed here. Soul Siphon obviously is not a new ability. Destroy one of your creatures to make one of the other creatures bigger. Grave Robbery is a new ability, and it's wild. I believe that this is the first instance of like controlling a card that you do not own. But this is put a level 1 or level 2 creature from an enemy's banished pile into play in any of your lanes. So you steal one of your opponent's things and play it on your side. Obviously, this ability it's probably pretty good because getting a card for free is always very good, but it is reliant upon whatever your opponent's doing. Though if your opponent's trying to win the game, they probably have played cards that they think are good, so oh, thank you, Ben. Yeah, level 3 Frankenbaum does do that already, so I was mistaken. But I think this is a sweet one. Just play a free guy, and the guy you get to pick from a pile of guys, so it's probably better than average. And then Circe's Propaganda is the other new ability, which is give a creature -7/-7. If it is in a lane with one of your exalts, you may give a creature +7/+7. So again, we have this weird kind of this to me reminds me of the templating on the Crux ability that was previewed a few weeks ago, where it's like do something and then dealing with exalts do something else. But the targeting on this is weird, right? Because obviously you want to target your opponent's guy 99% of the time. You don't have to. You can target your own guy in a lane with one of you. And then if it's in a lane with one of your exalts, which obviously the whole set is all about exalts, so you'll probably have the ability to do this. You get like a power buff as well. Again, you don't want to target your opponent's creature, but you could this time because neither one of these are gated by yours or your opponent's. So I assume this ability is fine. It's Circe just has like all removal spell um, Forgeborn abilities already. I don't know how many of them made it to this set, but obviously the like deal 6, gain 6, and destroy a level 1 or destroy level 2 from set 1 and 2 are also just like a removal spell. So this very much fits her thing, and I don't know. I'm most excited for Grave Robbery because I think it's pretty sweet and good card advantage. But Circe's Propaganda is also probably just fine because you like to have the removal spell. And I think let me look here. Okay, we had one spoiler that was on Stoneblade stream tonight that I snipped off the stream. This card was actually played in one of the tournament games that I covered, so you can see it on the VOD as well. But this card is pretty cool. Upgrade level 1 of your discard pile. You may give a creature -2/-2. If it destroys it, you may upgrade another level 1 of your discard pile. Then the level 2 is upgrade a card, -5/-5, upgrade a card. And then the last one is upgrade a card in your discard pile up to 2 times. Give a creature -8/-8. If it destroys it, play a card from your discard pile for free. So there's a lot of text on this card. It's like a pretty bad removal spell at level 1 and level 2, just because the amount of stats you get out of it are pretty small. But the upgrade is fine value, and a lot of times you'll get to like pick something off with it and get a second upgrade if you want. But then the level 3 version is just very much like the other purple upgrade cards, where you just kind of like, they're a little underwhelming. They upgrade a card, and then when you get to level 3, they do something just like kind of different and totally wacky. So the -8/-8 is not, again, great stats for killing something at level 3, but you're fine like throwing it at either like 2 cards at something to get a removal out of it, or throwing it at a lesser threat to get a removal out of it, because then you get to play a card for free, and it's a card that you have selection of. Obviously, it probably feels really bad to draw this card turn 1 of any particular cycle, especially cycle 3. But that's true of like essentially all the necromancer type cards in purple. You can obviously just like play a card first, like, and then play this as your second card and get that one card out of your discard pile, but it's just less selection when you don't have a discard pile full of stuff. But it is a sweet one. And it was actually pretty, like, very good in the game that I saw it played in on Sunday. So I think that's all the spoilers. In just a few minutes here, I'm going to have coverage of a 5th cycle game, tournament game. And Trey messaged me, he said that it's got a pretty big, like, it's not a very big tournament. There aren't many people signed up tonight, but they're big name players, so hopefully we will get to see some good Solforge here. Let me see. I'm going to try to find the tournament here. 10-11. Any location. Yep, okay. So in the tournament we have Carl. It looks like you're playing. I don't know if you're still in chat, but you were earlier. Weekend, Dodges also in chat, so Gorman. And then Trey, obviously, as well as the Puffin Man, who I don't think that I'm acquainted with the Puffin Man, but we'll get to watch. Um, Definitely a good game here. So I'm going to get set up for that. Let's see if OBS cooperates or just decides to kill the stream again. But I guess for anybody that did play on Sunday, if you're in chat, what were your thoughts of your set 3 beginnings there? So I thought it was super fun to commentate. I assume it was very fun to play. If anybody's still here to tell me. I know, Ben, you said you couldn't make it. That's too bad. Carl says, favorite combo had to be Cultivating Guardian and Aloyan Stage. Cultivating Guardian obviously is a great card, and the Aloyan Sage, like, I'm still not sold on. I think it overperformed on the weekend, like on the tournament, because I just didn't expect to see it go off twice. But God just says the red spirit that has aggressive and Pyre Song is amazing. I'll be honest, I underestimated that card. The one game that I saw it in that I commentated on, it was great. It just, because it's so big, it like always trades real good. Even if it doesn't die, like they have like a guy that it just eats because it's bigger than it, and then it dies. It's kind of the same as you just playing any creature into the lane with their guy and trading with it in combat. And then absolutely the level 3 is just very good that kills a guy. Oh yeah, and Carl says he likes Brigard Carrier. I could not stop talking about that card. I think that card is so sweet. It's like weird Drix. Uh, it is a 1/3 2/8 2/10, I think, and then it has mobility 1, and whenever it moves, you leave a gizmo behind in the lane it left, and that it's just so awesome. It's like if you have any cards that move it, it's just insane, and the artwork is sweet. Yeah, that's a good one, Brigard Carrier. We'll just chill here for a minute. Let's see who shows up in Tabletop Simulator first for me to watch, and us to watch as a team. Carl says, I love all the minus attack benefit cards that will be in set 3. Metamind Warden, Shardbound Vexer, Palladium Pulse Mage, Sonic Burst. Okay, we did confirm that Sonic Burst is back. Yeah, I mean, I like all those cards. I mean, Sonic Burst, you don't even need the minus attack stuff to make good, right? Like, it's just always good. So is Palladium Pulse Mage, honestly. Vexer is cool, and in one of the games that I commentated on Sunday, it like absolutely went ham on its opponent, like just killed a couple random things. So maybe, I mean, that's the kind of theme that like it needs the Sonic Burst cards more than it needs the Vexer type cards because it needs cards that are both like very good when you have the minus attack things, but also just good by themselves. Um, and Vexer, I mean, Vexer might be good enough by itself. I don't know. I haven't played it enough or played against it enough to like actually evaluate that because it is an interesting one. Um, it's going to eat a lot of green thunder sores, I think, coming up. But Sonic Burst coming back is a big deal. That card's very good. I wish that it wasn't a bunch of cards that just killed my Brigard carrier, but alright, I'm gonna message Trey. Again, thanks to Trey for offering to have the Shuffle Bus cover these events. We like to have the games to commentate on. It's a little more exciting than just talking about news or spoilers or whatever. To have some actual gameplay on here. Um, so every Wednesday night on the odd numbered Wednesdays, they have some wacky format. I think the last one was like you can't activate your own Forgeborn. You can only activate your like opponent's Forgeborn abilities or something. But then on the even numbered Wednesdays, they play regular Solforge constructed. And like I said, the roster tonight is pretty stacked, so it must be a good event. Oh, I can see the decks already. Let's see. I suppose I shouldn't like give them away before the event starts. But hope everybody's having a good week. Hope everybody signs up for a bunch of tournaments this weekend because the Set 3 preview event, Ben's Nexus sealed event, just a lot of stuff going on. Go play some Solforge. I'll probably remind everybody of that again right before the end of the stream here. I think in a couple weeks because Jesse's gonna be gone on the 25th as well. So I think on the 25th I'm gonna play some spooky Halloween type games um, when I'm here solo streaming instead of doing just Soulforge coverage because we're in that spooky season. Let's take a look at these. Pairings are going up, it sounds like, so have a game in just a minute. Okay, looks like we got a Gorgeous versus Carl, um, Weekend versus Trey, and Puffin Man versus Gorman. So I think we'll probably watch the Trey and Weekend game. Just see how our undefeated shovel busser plays the game. So the decks we're looking at here are this is the Weekend's deck he's going to play against Trey here. Little red-green stuff. Firestorm, Disintegrate, Burnout, Ferocious Roar, Fine Lash. Sunder has 2 spell sprites, Pump Creatures and Mobility, and 6 damage. And Oros has Barkskin, Growth Aura, Shapeshift. Probably Sunder, I assume. I don't. Mechanic Mystic. Oh, this is a Furious Shardback in it. Okay. Iceland's Magus, Glowhive Siren, Soothing Polymorpher. Just some good stuff in a Furious Shardback. And then Trey is playing also red-green with a Firestorm. This one has lightning runes in it. Okay. I actually like this card a lot, Lightning Ritual. Seems like it's usually pretty good. Nap Time, Elementalist. This is just Furious Shardback versus Furious Shardback? Okay. The old mirror match. Alright, I like it. I move the decks over to this side. I'm going to join Trey's game here. I'm going to try anyway. Oh. Come on, game. Okay. We are in. Oh, he's got fancy playmats. I like it. Just gonna, hopefully this doesn't make you guys too dizzy as I do a little zoom in here. All right. Giving Trey the ready to go here, and getting the deck list on the side. Okay. I like the fifth cycle mod. I've never played in it before, but it's a fancy. It's got the fancy forge cards and everything. Let's see who's on top. Okay, so Weekend's on top. Turn off my. I guess I'll just leave it up here. I don't know how to turn it off really. All right, so Trey on the forge here. He has the Nova, which has Nova's Touch, which is replace a level 1 with a Wisp. Nova's Might at cycle 3, and Nova's Dominion at cycle 4. And like I said, Weekend's playing the Sunder, which has make 2 spell sprites, Gale Surge, and then 6 to all enemies. Starting off with this Magnivorious Bartok. So next creature's bigger whenever the opponent plays a spell. This gets bigger. And there's the Glowhive Siren. Just make a little 4/8. Glowhive Siren is a very big creature at level 1. It's kind of crazy. So then he plays a Bedding Colossus and made the Bartok bigger. They're just trading stats. Bartok made the Colossus bigger, Colossus made the Bartok bigger. They're just best buds. And then a Warhound from Weekend. I hope he's still thinking. Oh, just traded creatures there. So I think, like, I guess tiny advantage to Weekend because his guy's a little better that's left over and he gained 4 life, but no real meaningful advantage there, I guess. Ooh, a Keeper. Oh, and this is a beast. Maximum value. So, Ferocious Keeper, pumped his Glowhive Siren. Oh, these are sweet. What is this from? Oh, and there's the Furious Shard back already to eat the remainder of that Bartok and deal 2 to the Spell Sprite. Obviously, this card is insane and dumb. But it dings itself and then dings the enemies. Alright, and it looks like what's happening? Oh, he played Lightning Ritual. Okay. So he's trying to Lightning Ritual the Shard back, which kills his Spell Sprite, right? Yeah, okay. I believe there should have been a Thunder Crash field trigger because he played that spell. I'll ask him, but I don't know what they're doing because I can't hear him talk. But I think there was a spell sprite in that lane when Lightning Ritual was played, so it should have got. I don't know either. So I'm trying to think about it. We'll just lay it out here. So what would happen is the oops, my bad. Yeah, okay, we're in agreement. So yeah, no trigger because the oh, but he just played his on Fury Shard back into that lane, which definitely will trigger, and that's quite good. All right, and we have satisfied the uh, lightning runes non-combat damage to an enemy creature in this lane from the shard back, and it has flipped into uh, Harbinger Staff. That's quite the combo with shard back actually, because it just like doubles up the shard back thing one time. It's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. These minions are dope, man. That's so cool. I love that. Alright, so we have a Pyromantic Stonefist. Just a big dude that deals 2 when it comes into play. So I'm trying to get this better centered. It looks kind of wonky to me. And then I just cockeyed it real bad, so maybe I'm making it worse. Alright. Pyromantic's not very good against Shardback. So I guess he chose not to deal 2. Which seems correct to me. I would not want to deal 2 to a Shardback. God, if there's ever a time when the Shardback is in play, it's like oh, they're having audio issues. Okay, we're just waiting a minute while they get that figured out. So there's ever a time that there's a Shardback in play. The Shardback that has more life is the winner, I think. Is this optional? No. So they just like ping each other back and forth until one dies. But it's not always in the best interest of the player with more life shard back, because if they have more creatures, like essentially every creature is going to die. And also Trey just kind of has the shard back parity broken with the Harbinger Staff here. So he plays a Feral Instinct. Whoops. Which gives his shard back +3 attack and some armor and breakthrough, and when it deals damage to player make a wisp. So he did unfortunately get disintegrated, but again, using damage spells on Shardback is not good. So Shardback pinged a bunch of stuff because the creature in this lane took damage from Shardback. The Harbinger Staff went off, so we got an additional 2 damage out of it. And so it did a lot of things. But the weekend is still up a couple creatures here, so small advantage to him, I think. But we'll see, because I think Trey Trey's deck looks a little bit more railroaded than Weekend's. Weekend seems to me to be a little bit stronger overall, just in card quality. But the when Trey's deck has the Fury Shard back in the Thunder Crash field lane, with the Harbinger staff in play, he's doing more things. So we'll see if he gets that set back up in this cycle or not. Here we see Weekend's Mystical Tangle Sprout increasing the life value of his Glowhive Siren. This card, I actually really like this card, but I also really hate it because of the stupid naming convention. Because Mystical is one of the Forge adjectives, obviously, and I don't like that exists there. So we had the Glowhive turn into a Wisp. It was a little quick, but the Glowhive was turned into a Wisp with the Nova ability. And then he played Firestorm to kill everything, except for the Tangle Sprout. Now Weekend has used his Forge 1 ability to put some spell sprites into play, and played the card Lead the Charge on his Tangle Sprout, so his spell sprites got +2 from playing a spell. His Tangle Sprout got untapped, and he got to use the Tangle Sprout's activated ability one more time on this spell sprite. So a lot of game actions taken there in a very short amount of time, but again, just small. Well, not even so small anymore. Now just like card advantage to Weekend there. Okay, and we have a Betrayer Turnabout on these spell sprites, which just make them fight each other. Got a little bit of damage out there, putting them in prime Furious Shard back range. We'll see if he draws it. Okay, he's got the Lightning Ritual. Move an enemy creature, deals 6 to it, so he moves the Tangle Sprout over, got dealt 6, and then the Harbinger Staff dealt 6 to something else, killing off that spell sprite. So that's a nice little, not quite a 2-for-1, but like 1.9 for 1 because it put the Tangle Sprout at 1 life. And again, it's easily within range of Shardback now if he does get to draw it. Ooh, a Talisan. Oh, Talisan activate immediate, okay. Lottery time. The enemy player may play a card for free, then you may play a card for free. Another one of these symmetrical effects that's quote-unquote symmetrical. When you have control over the timing, yours tend to be better, but he actually had a good card to play, so Everflame Phoenix is sorry, I had some audio issues also. I was just saying Phoenix is pretty good, and Weekend's card was Volcanic Mystic. So he ended up moving the Tangle Sprout, and then, which is good because it moved it out of the Harbinger Staff, so it saved the Talisan, but Trey got to play his Shard back and just get a nice little 3-for-1 there, as well as some damage to face off of the Thunder Crash field. And then we're moving the Phoenix over, because he really wants to incentivize Weekend to play into that lane with the Harbinger Staff. Obviously Weekend probably won't, but at least now if he wants to battle that Phoenix, he has to put something in there. Alright, we have a Venerable Matriarch. So the Venerable Matriarch did get the Matriarch buff because of the Talisan play, so that's a nice little combo there. Became a big dude and fought with the Shard back. Weekend's in a tough spot here. He's got to do something. Otherwise, that Shardback's going to eat his 2 cards there. I guess the Shardback would die while doing it, but if Trey has another uh, pump spell or armor spell for his Shardback, then um, obviously it'll break that a little bit. Primal Surge or Feral Instinct, something like that. These decks are both sweet. They both have a Talisman too. The actual mirror match. Shardback is not a balanced card. Well, I think Shardback is a balanced card. Furious Shardback is not a balanced card. When set 3 comes out here, we are going to have Shardback back in it, but Furious Adjective will not be available. Alright, Ferocious Keeper. Pretty big armor guy. He currently has no beasts to get the life buff with, but what is 511 or whatever it is? Getting Leyline Vermin. Okay. So the Keeper currently has no text. This card is also not a fair card. Big old bug eyes over here. Giant stats, great ability. We have Talsan activated and a Stouthide Stegodon into center lane from Trey. Let's see what Weekend does. It is kind of important to see cards in hand. Oh, they have cards shown. I don't actually want to see the cards in hand. I want to have it blind, but Weekend played a Firestorm to deal 4 to everything, including Shardback, which will trigger. Oh, so he played the Firestorm off the Talisman. That's cool. And then played the Shardback to eat the remainder of the team. Because level 2 Shardback deals 3. And then a Blitzing Worm to take out the Shardback. Alright, again, small advantage to Weekend here coming out of Cycle 2. Big life advantage, though. Trey's been playing a lot of spells, as well as just like creature trades. And Weekend has had a couple guys left over a few times that have done a little face damage. But the Stouthide Stegodon, again, unopposed, is going to gain him a little life. 8/8. Big boy dinosaur. And then the Pyromantic Stone Fist to deal 3 to the dinosaur. Alright, so then we have level 3 Shardback with a free Primal Surge because of the life gain out of the Stouthide there. Then the immediate activate to make itself a giant. The armor from the Furious, or from the Primal Surge, eating the first 2 damage it did to itself, but still counts for triggering it. Taking a little damage off Thunder Crash Field. So, in the Shardback mirror, the person with the more Shardbacks is probably going to win. We'll see. We'll see if Weekend hits his Shardback this cycle or not. This is cycle 3, turn 1, so Trey has Nova's Might. He can give +3/+3, I think. Yeah, at this level it's +3/+3. Oh, there's the other Shardback. So if he activates Shardback, it's not a May. So they just ding each other back and forth. That was pretty sweet. Uh, they're so mad. Rawr. 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 Alright, Matriarch. Uh, just the 7/9 version. Trey has more than 3 cards in hand. And then Bartok here. Three, 6. Not a very strong play as the second card in the turn. Oh, I lied. They just moved on to another turn and I missed it because they're playing real fast. So that was his first card. The Matriarch Vine Lashed the Bartok there. To kill it, here we have a Betting Colossus, which will get the Bartok buff, but no creatures for Betting Colossus. Wait, give one of your creatures. Oh, he can pump itself. Okay, so this is a very large Colossus. But he's in the back row, so there's no breakthrough. So Trey changed the life differential a little bit there with his life gain and a little bit of damage, but has a 15-1, which is very vulnerable. Then his worm trades for disintegrate. This is a pretty good worm here. Just a big fronted guy. Ooh, Pterodon Mauler. I like this card. Level 1 in cycle 3 is like not ideal, but this card is very powerful. And since oh, okay, Talsand, lottery time. Trey gets a Leyline Vermin. What does Weekend get? I don't know how you guys feel about it, chat. Somebody can give me some feedback in the YouTube comments or something. I personally like doing without hand cams for the commentary. There we see Glowfire Siren just as a trade. Gain a little life. And take 7 from Leyline Vermin. But I like it without hand cams. It gives a little bit of speculation, gives a little bit more excitement. We can't just like map out what's going to happen in the turn right away. Though sometimes because of the way this game works, like mapping out playlines is fun. So let me know what you guys think in the comments or just message me or something. The Vine Lash is just strike now, so the Talsand Delta 11 to the Leyline Vermin there. Just a nice little removal spell. Trey hovering Thunder Crash Field. Okay, level 2 Thunder Crash Field. Thunder Crash Field, I think, is probably good in this deck, but it hasn't seemed like much of a threat this game so far. We'll see if he plays the level 3 next cycle, and that's where it like actually starts doing some stuff because you get to fill the lanes with guys. Alright. Oh! Activate Talasan. Trey plays Talasan. This is the kind of Solforge we want to see. Alright, what's Weekend's Talasan card? Weekend's Talasan card is also Talasan. I love it. Alright, and he turns the spell sprite into a wisp with his second card for the turn, activates Talasan. He gets a free card, Piercing Smash Fist. So this Talasan is one-sided. This Talasan is not the lottery. And then he activated the Gale Surge to pump the attack on all those guys. Alright, and then we had oh, I'm sorry, this is Cycle 4, turn 1. So I think what he did was he dealt 6 to each creature, and then now Trey is making Oak Fathers. As well as playing a Stampeding Stormling. So the Oak Fathers eat a couple guys. Stormling blocks a Talasan attack. Trey takes a Talasan attack. But moving into Cycle 4, turn 2, only two turns left, 4 cards for each player, assuming no shenanigans, which we don't know for sure because there's obviously Talasans in play. But he leylines the good Talasan, so no extra card for Weekend off that one. Yeah, this Oak Father's cool too. Activate Talasan. Bartok in play. Alright. I like Bartok as a Talasan card because of the Magnivorious. If we can play the spell, this will be a real threat. Also, obviously, the Bartok trigger is good too, +8/+8. Seems pretty likely that, yep, so seems pretty likely that he was going to play a spell because he has the whole turn and only so many cards in hand when he's activating Talasans like this. So he played Lead the Charge to ready the Talasan and increase its defense. Then activated Talasan again. Trey hits Unstable Vortex. I'm not sure what happened there. Oh, he just replaced Unstable Vortex with this card for the turn. I'm not sure. They're pointed stuff. So Blazing Worm was off of the second Talasan thing. I don't know, they're talking about it. Oh, there's the Magnivorious trigger I was talking about. And the Thunder Crash Field triggered as well because of Magnivorious. And then Glowhive Siren. Gain some life, make a reasonably sized guy. Fights good with the Oak Father there, but Trey's gonna smash for a lot of damage here. So that worm has breakthrough. Then there's 23 over here and 23 over here. Alright, he's got a Keeper. Glowhive Siren has a ginormous butt right now. Keeper activation. Also, I think this thing is supposed to have attack too. I'll ask them. Yep, so the Ferocious is a weird ability, uh, where it just gives armor, I think, at the beginning, and but then at level 3 it gives or it gives like a tiny amount of attack and armor, but then at level 3 it gives attack equal to the creature's attack and armor equal to the creature's attack. So like if you have like skeleton or something that's like really front-loaded worm that's ferocious, then it gets like a million power and a million armor. Obviously, worm would have to be a betrayer, but so it's skeleton. Just like ferocious bear, I guess, would be a big giant green one. Okay, so we have a Talasan replacement by this thing, because this thing is getting there's like no cards in either player's hand right now from all the Talasaning. They're going to calculate damage, breakthrough, and stuff. Takes 8, and then those things trade. So yeah, so weaken taking some damage, life differential definitely evened up there. But this is the end of the game. Last turn. Very, very close. Like very, very, very similar creatures in play. We'll see if he has the Thunder Crash field, I guess. That would be a way to like break the life totals open. But we're having Talasan activation again. Lots of Talasans this game. Got to do it now because otherwise the Leyline Vermin will turn it off. And a Betting Colossus. Alright, so he needs to power up one of his guys and get a breakthrough. I assume it's going to be the Vermin. It's a little dangerous, because, yep, I was going to say, because a lot of low toughness guys there, so Firestorm was not what I expected, but it does the job. 7 to everything. So if Thunder Crash Field, he would have played as his first card if he had the option. If he thought that was the good plan. I don't know that it was, but playing Blitzing Warhound for replacement, deal an extra 5. And then he's got 8 damage in the front row. Trey is off Forge, so he's at disadvantage there. He's got to make up a 9-point differential plus block the thing, but it looks like we're having a concession, I assume. So he could kill the Warhound, but he just wouldn't be able to make up the life differential. He drew like all spells in a level 1, so that hand was not good for him. But obviously the game went to time and went to tiebreakers, and Weekend had a little bit of life left, so he got there. This was a cool game. We got to see like Talasan into Talasan into Talasan, and also like Shardback activation, kill everything. Yeah, that was a sweet one. I'm gonna give him the old GG. So thanks to Trey and Weekend for being on the stream. We're going to do um, more of these since they have the tournaments on the nights that we usually stream, and we like to have the commentary. So um, we will do this some more. And if you guys are interested in playing some Wednesday night Solforge, obviously check out the Fifth Cycle Discord. Um, or the thefifthcycle.com. That's with a 5. The5thcycle.com to check out everything about the podcast and the calendar and the tournaments and everything. So thanks, Trey. Thanks, everybody. That's going to wrap it up for me tonight. I know we're a little early, but I don't I don't have anything else to talk about, so just real quick news recap. Uh, if you're in the Shuffle Plus qualifier, finish your games over the weekend. Got to be done by Monday for round 4. Ben Onk is firing off the Nexus Sealed this weekend. Signups are open until Friday, tournament on Saturday. And there is Set 3 preview events this weekend. Check them out on Solforge website if you guys want to play some Solforge. So I think that's about it. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight, and we'll see y'all next week.